Hey YouTube, so, special treat for you. I don't have anything to do for the next 12 minutes while I wait for two programs on the DVR to stop recording at the same time, so I can watch something that's live. So I decided to make another video. And I think for this one, I want to talk about sort of letting your true self out, so to speak. And so, like growing up, if you're a trans person, maybe more so for male to females than female to male, but probably for either. When you grow up, like, you try to sort of hide who you are, I guess, because especially I think for male to female, wanting to be a girl, it's kind of frowned on by your peers. Being a sissy, being a pansy, like, that's what kids get bullied for, things like that. So you have a pretty big tendency, I think, to sort of hide who you are from other people, sort of just as a self-preservation mechanism in a lot of cases. And once you start to transition, you start to take hormones, you notice a lot of these things may be coming back up to the surface that you had repressed before. And it's sort of, I think, interesting psychologically, because it's like, well, who am I really? Like, were these things that have always been sort of natural that I've just repressed, or are these things that are being brought out by the hormones? Or maybe it's just a result of, you know what, now that I'm so self-actualized, that I'm now taking hormones and moving my life in the right direction, that these are other things I can do or I want to do too. So for me, like, one thing that sort of surprised me was the desire to date men. I kind of knew that was probably gonna happen, but sort of when I began HRT, I was like, well, I'm gonna be one of those trans people who's okay with keeping the born equipment and sort of being super queer or whatever. But then sort of the longer I was on hormones, the more I've wanted to have sort of this traditional female life. And I think that's probably something that I've always wanted. I know when I was little, there were times when, I was fascinated by brides' dresses and wedding gowns, things like that. And now that I'm on hormones, and I've been on hormones for almost 2 years now, 2 weeks from now I think will be the 2-year point, almost to the day. It's like, you know what, you can do sort of whatever you want, be who you are. And like some of these little things that you notice, like, oh, maybe my hand, I move it differently, I walk a little bit differently, like, trying to figure out where this is coming from. I don't think it really matters, just if it feels good, do it. Because, like, you're already, one of my really good friends put it to me really well, it's like, you're already become a woman, so I'm not sure what else you could do at this point to freak everybody out. So dating guys, doing whatever, like, it doesn't matter. And so don't worry about those things, like, and don't worry, if it's the opposite, where, well, I feel like I'm a trans person, but I really want to date women, but then people will say, well, why didn't you just, like, don't worry about, like, anything, really, I think, is kind of the moral. Because I think no matter what, like, if you're overthinking something about transition, you're just spinning your wheels, it's not useful, and it just adds a lot of drama that you don't really need. So, like, whatever changes with your transition, or comes to this, or, like, see, there I go again, just go with it. And if you don't like it, like, you're reinventing yourself, so just do something else then.